I lost $120,000 GCI on what would have been my fourth deal by making one very simple mistake. This is a story that I've never actually shared with anybody before, but it's one that will hopefully save you from having to go through the nightmare that I had to go through, which all of it could have been easily avoidable if I just did one simple thing. So let's unpack this story. What's up, guys? My name is Mike Sherrard with eXp. I train thousands of agents every year, and this takes me back to my first year. So there's going to be a massive lesson in this story that will hopefully save you in the future. So I get a Facebook lead. I was running Facebook ads as a new agent, and I get a lead. And I was running ads for this new luxury condo development in my city. Highest price point, but also there was a catch. Double the commission all the way on the buyer's side. So anyways, I get this call from this Facebook lead, and he says that he's a wealthy guy, he just moved to the city and is looking for a luxury condo, and he wants to meet for breakfast. And me as a new agent, I say, okay, let's go for breakfast. So I go to meet him, and he talked a big game. He was short, but had a giant personality, and he was driving a Range Rover, staying at a really nice hotel here in my city. And I said, okay, I get this kind of weird feeling from him, but he's driving a nice vehicle, he's staying at the nicest hotel, I'm gonna go with it. And he wanted to see these units. So I go and show him, and I bring him to the show suites that they have, the nicest you'll ever see in my city, at least. And so he starts to take interest. And then he wants to meet again. But there's times where he'll go silent, and I don't quite understand why. And I started getting this weird feeling because he would ghost me for about 2 weeks, then he would come back and say that he wants to talk about the unit again. And so anyways, I don't think he's legit at all. But then he asked to go for a coffee with me, and we go into the nicest hotel in my entire city. And we walk in. Every staff person there knows his name. He's giving $20 bills, $50 bills to the person at the front door, to the waitress, to the guy that did the valet. Like, he was just throwing money around like crazy, and everybody knew his first name. So then I was like, maybe he is legit. And long story short, basically what happened is we get to this unit, and he wants it, writes an offer on it. Me, keep in mind, broke as a joke, brand new agent, $120,000 would have literally changed my life at that point. So I'm over the moon, writes the offer, signs on the dotted line. We have our condition date for financing, and it all looks like it's a go. So then what happens is the financing date is coming up, and I'm nervous because I haven't heard from him. And so he texts me about an hour before the due date of the deposit for financing. And he says, hey, I've got the check here, ready to go. I drop everything I'm doing, I drive to the hotel, I pick the check up about 5 minutes before it was due. I'm sure they would have given me some lenience, but I was able to get the deposit in. I'm over the moon. 120K's coming my way, I could not believe it. Well, little did I know that I get a call from the rep of the builder, the representative, the sales girl, about a week later saying, hey, the check bounced. Okay. So I contact this guy and said, hey, check bounced, and he got pissed at me. And then his girlfriend called me and said, oh, he's just going through some things. He's really, he's in a bad mood. Don't take it to heart. We still really want the unit. And basically what happened is they pulled me along for months. And every single time I thought that I was gonna get this $120,000 check. It was a signed deal, it was good to go, and he loved it. And I ended up doing some research online afterward, and there's a bunch of articles of people saying that they knew him, that they tried to do business with him, and that he was a fraud, and that he stole their money and ran away. And it all started to come together for me, and I'm gonna share the lesson here in a second. When we went for breakfast, he was talking about all these big people that he knew in Vancouver and Toronto, and going to these baller parties and doing all this lavish stuff. But it turns out it wasn't his money. And so the moral of the story here, very, very simple lesson. Pre-qualify everybody. And I know that sounds obvious, but as a new agent, when you're desperate for money, you're barely covering your living expenses, and you're feeling overwhelmed with just trying to make it, I saw that as an opportunity to just say, holy shit, I could make some good money here. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And what happens is a lot of times new agents are hesitant to lean into pre-qualifications because they don't want to push clients away. They don't want to come across as too formal or salesy or, pushy. And I get it. And that's how I was too. But I got burned. And that wasn't the only time. And so there's a second time, owner of a hotel, and actually was, and same deal. Wanted to buy a $3 to $5 million property, acreage, gorgeous. They flew into town, showed them a bunch of epic places. What I didn't realize is their hotel that they actually did own, because I Googled it this time, was going bankrupt. And so they didn't have the money, but they wanted to see all these cool homes and just wanted the tour, which I spent weeks and weeks and weeks doing. And it all would have been resolved with a simple pre-qualification. So I know that there's agents out there that are hesitant, but I'm hoping that my painful stories of wasting months and hours and stressed beyond belief can help you avoid that. So those are my stories. I've got a couple. I've got many more that I don't need to unpack, but it's these simple little things in real estate that make the biggest difference. And I know that people harp on you, pre-qualify everyone, and there's all these agents that say, oh, I know, whatever. It's real. And so I encourage you with every client, especially in this quirky market, to pre-qualify everybody. So hopefully you don't have to be massively disappointed and lose out on a ton of commission like I did. So if you have any cool stories, drop it in the comment below. I'd genuinely love to hear if you've been burned in any way. So hopefully we can all look back and laugh at it together because that's all I can really do now. And I really do think it's kind of funny, but it also showed my ignorance as a brand new agent. And I don't want that to be you. Now, if you are a new agent and you want to know how to actually break six figures in your first year with a complete step-by-step blueprint, then check out this next video, which I will link up here. It walks through a roadmap that I've used to help hundreds of agents do wildly successful in their first year. And I want to see that be you and not be like me getting burned left, right, and center because of my lack of knowledge and my complete ignorance.